Where'd my thing go? There it is. Okay. All right. So a regular BEDMAS, -5 minus 5, bracket 3 minus -3, all squared, other bracket. Where do we start?
The bracket.
So we start inside the bracket. So we look in here, this bit. But within there, what do we have to do first? You seem really excited, Dan.
Exponents.
Exponents. Okay, so -5 minus 5 bracket 3 minus. What is -3 to the power of 2? Well, what does it mean? It means -3 times -3. What's a negative times a negative? Positive. What's 3 times 3? 9. So it turns into 9. So this is just 9. This -3 squared became 9. Now what do I do? Is that my calculator?
Yes.
So you do the brackets first. What's 3 minus 9?
Yes. 6. -6.
-6. Equals. Okay. Now we have what? What do we do next? You do multiplication because there's no more brackets or exponents. So now we're on division and multiplication, the second bit here. The multiplying part is that. So what's -5 times -6? -5 times -6. Sorry? Positive 30. -5 plus 30 is?
25.
25. Okay. That's BEDMAS with integers. We already did that stuff, right? And you did it last year, correct?
I think so.
All right. So now we do the exact same thing, except instead of having integers, we have fractions. Oh, are you taking a picture of this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm recording it. We're going for ocean, people. Here we go. Example number 2.
Ooh, ocean.
Okay. Now, these questions are going to get big. All right? So, I implore you. You know what implore means? I beg you.
I knew that.
I beg you. Okay? In my experience, people who struggle with math have 2 flaws. One is they don't have the basics, which is like this class. Okay? So they're not good with fractions, integers, things like that. But the other part is, even my grade 12s, is they don't know how to lay out a question. So it just looks like the pencil or pen vomited all over the page, and you can't follow anything. All right? Half of doing well at math is laying out the things so you can follow and I can follow what you're doing. Okay? Now, I can't make you do anything in a certain way, but I can strongly encourage you to do something in a certain way. Okay? I'm strongly encouraging you to follow what I do and lay it out vertically. Okay? So here we go. -1/3 plus 2/3 times 1/6. What do I do first? Brackets, which is, but there's nothing like, when they say brackets, they mean like an operation within the brackets. So we don't really have any of that, right? Because these 2 brackets being side by side means multiplication. You're still right, but that's what we're doing. So we're doing multiplication first. So 2 fractions. How do you multiply fractions? We just did a quiz on this. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Do you need a common denominator, Maya? Yeah. Sorry. No, you do not. So, right below it, we didn't do anything with the -1/3. Now we're going to multiply these fractions. So 2 times 1 is? 2. 3 times 6 is 18. Okay? Now, at this point, again, I strongly encourage you to simplify your fraction. Because if you're going to start adding these together, you need a common denominator, but I don't want to deal with the denominator of 18. I want to simplify that if I can. So does 2 over 18 simplify?
Yeah.
To what?
1 over 9.
1 over 9. So we get negative 1/3 plus 1 over 9. Now that is much easier to deal with than the 2 over 18. How do we add fractions?
Common thingy.
Common denominator, right?
Yeah.
So what's the common denominator of 3 and 9? 9. So I have to multiply this by 3 by 3, which gives me negative 3 over 9 plus 1 over 9. Once you have a common denominator, what do?
Yes.
Just add the numerators, right? Does the denominator change, the bottom? No, it doesn't. Negative 3 plus 1 is? Negative 3 plus 1 is? Negative 2. Remember, if you have a number line, negative 3, which way am I going if I add 1? I'm going that way. So I get to negative 2. Can I simplify negative 2 over 9? You cannot. All right. No? You know it's recorded, right?
Yeah, but then again, it would like waste memory on my phone. It's just I think it
Okay.
because it takes the storage.
All right. All right. Number 3, peoples. All right. We're doing it in Galaxy because this one's as big as a galaxy. Addison, I'm going to ask you to move up here.
Talking to my ponytail.
Because I'm pointing at that desk right there. There you go. All right. Number 3. Here we go. We're stepping up our game. Are we ready? No. Why is this erasing? What is going on? There's our question. Negative 2 1/3 divided by 3/4 plus 3/2 plus 1/4. I have faith that we can do this.
Easy.
All right.
Oh God, I just.
Okay. So, when you get this question, has everybody got a copy down? Okay, when you get this question, after you freak out, what do? What do I not like in particular? Mixed numbers. That would be my first step. I'm going to clear all the mixed numbers, convert them all to improper fractions. So, what is this negative 2/3? Yeah, it becomes negative 7 over 3. Because 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Negative stays out in front. Divided by 3/4, just stays as 3/4. Plus 3/2 plus 1/4. I'm going to change the 3/2 to, 7 over 2. If you do that and you do nothing else and say this question's out of 2, I'll give you a half mark. So if this is out of 2, say this question's out of 2 marks, I'll give you 0.5 marks just for getting rid of all the mixed if you do nothing else. Okay, now we got to get the rest of the marks. What do? What's the next step?
The brackets.
The brackets. 7/2 and 1/4. How do you add fractions?
Get a common denominator.
Common denominator, which is
4.
4. So I multiply this one by 2 and this one by 2.
7. 14 over 4.
I'm going to show all my steps. So I get that. So we have a common denominator. What do we add?
15 over 4.
Just the tops, correct?
Yeah.
So now I have that.
Why do you keep the brackets?
Oh, you don't have to have the brackets. Like, you've already done that. So I could just erase the brackets like that. You don't need them. Okay, so now we have division and addition. What do I do first? Do the division. How do you divide fractions? We just did a quiz on this. Keep, change, flip. Keep the 7 over 3, or negative 7 over 3. Change to a multiplication. And flip the last one, which becomes 4 over 3. 15 over 4 just kind of hangs out off to the side for now. And then how do you multiply fractions?
Cross. Or canceling out.
Negative 7 times 4. Negative 28 over
9.
Can I simplify the 28 over 9? Is there anything that goes into both? No. And I made this question up, so that's why these are going to be ugly numbers. Okay? So, how do I add fractions? Common denominator. Now, 4 and 9 don't, it's not an easy number to see, but if you can't find a common denominator, what is an easy way to get a common denominator? Just multiply them by each other, right? So, if I just go times 9 times 9, and this one times 4 times 4, and you will need a calculator for this. Anybody know what 4 times 28 is?
Yeah.
Izzy. Yep. Negative 112 over 36. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus. Anybody know what 9 times 15 is? $135. Anybody know what negative 112 plus 135 is? It's the same as this. 135 minus 112. It's the same thing. Do you know what that is? 23? It's 23. 23 over 36. Can you simplify that? That is your answer. Excuse me. Aren't those fun?
No. It's not that common.
No, it's the same stuff. It's just fractions. So, okay, say this question's out of 2. You're going to get half mark if you do that. You get a half mark for doing this stuff. You get a half mark for doing this stuff. And then if you have to simplify, you'd get a half mark too. So there's your 2 marks. Okay? I want to give you part marks. So if you don't show your steps, I can't give you part marks. Okay? Well, it's 5-3 already?